Story 1. I'm terrified of white masks. Not just any mask, specifically those smooth white theater masks. And before you ask, no, it's not because of horror movies. It's because of something much more real that happened to me. It was a Halloween party in 2020, themed movie villains. I went as Cruella de Vil, wig, fake fur coat, the complete look. The party was packed. There were people dressed as Joker, Darth Vader, Hannibal Lecter, you name it. The house was 3 stories, belonged to a retired film producer. Full of old posters, movie props, a true mansion dedicated to cinema. The lights were low, red and purple, creating shadows everywhere. I was in the main room when I saw him. Standing at the top of the staircase. Phantom of the Opera. Perfect white mask covering half his face, flowing black cape, white gloves. But it wasn't the costume that scared me. It was the posture. The way he tilted his head. The way his hands moved, theatrical, dramatic. My ex-boyfriend Derek was a theater actor. And he had played the Phantom of the Opera 3 times. I would recognize those gestures anywhere. Derek and I ended badly 6 months before. He didn't accept it. Started showing up at places I frequented. Sent flowers to my work. Called from unknown numbers. I was about to get a restraining order when he finally seemed to give up. But now he was here. At the top of the stairs. Watching me. Our eyes met. He raised a gloved hand and waved, slow, deliberate, disturbing. Then he started descending the stairs. 1 step at a time. Theatrical. As if he were on a stage. I panicked. Ran to the kitchen, through the winter garden, up to the 2nd floor. But no matter where I went, he was there. Always in the hallways, always in the dark corners, always with that damn white mask. I tried talking to other people, but the music was too loud. Everyone was too drunk. And how do you explain you're being stalked by a Phantom of the Opera at a Halloween party? Finally, I locked myself in a bathroom on the 3rd floor. Called my friend who was at the party. Told her to meet me, that I needed to leave. She said she'd come in 5 minutes. But then I heard it. The doorknob turning. Slowly. He was trying to get in. Derek, I know it's you. I screamed. I'm calling the police. Silence. Then a voice. But it wasn't coming from the hallway, it was coming from inside the bathroom. From the shower behind me. Who's Derek? The voice whispered. I turned. The shower curtain was moving. Someone was behind it. I exploded through the bathroom door, knocking over whoever was outside, another person in a Joker costume. Stumbled down the stairs, screaming. My friend found me and we ran out. We called the police from the car. They went to the party. Found a man in the bathroom, a completely drunk guest who had gone in to throw up and thought it would be funny to scare whoever was there. He wasn't even wearing a white mask. Just a regular guy. But what about the Phantom of the Opera? No one else had seen him. The mansion's security cameras, yes there were cameras, showed nothing. Showed me running alone through the hallways. No man in a white mask following me. I was about to accept I'd hallucinated everything, maybe someone had slipped something in my drink, when the police officer came back with a strange expression. You said your ex's name is Derek Richardson? She asked. Yes. Why? Because Derek Richardson died 3 days ago. Car accident on the interstate highway. Was coming back from an audition in another state. Positive identification by the coroner. I felt the world spin. So who was following me? I whispered. The officer shook her head. We don't know. But he wasn't on the cameras. And no one else at the party remembers seeing a Phantom of the Opera. To this day, I don't know what happened that night. I don't know who or what was wearing that white mask. I only know that every time I see a theater mask, my blood freezes. And sometimes late at night, I still hear that voice whispering, "Who's Derek?" Story 2. I almost became an accomplice to a kidnapping. And all because I wanted to buy my first legal beer. It was my 21st birthday, Halloween 2022. My friends had organized a horror-themed party. Nothing extravagant, just beers and scary movies. I was excited because I could finally contribute. Could go to a store and buy alcohol without that anxiety of getting caught with a fake ID. We stopped at a small convenience store on the edge of town. Kind of isolated place, but it was open. Neon lights flashing, open 24h. I'll be right back, I told my friends. Want to do this alone. Milestone moment, you know? They laughed but understood. Stayed in the car listening to music. I entered the store. A thin man behind the counter greeted me with a smile. Wore a red store uniform and had a badge that said, Manager. Gray hair, glasses, kind grandfather appearance. Good evening. Can I help you? He said, too cheerful for someone working alone at 10 p.m. Just looking for beer, I replied, still with that residual nervousness from years of fake IDs. Aisle 3, dear. We have a promotion today. I started walking through the aisles. The store was strangely quiet. No background music, no other customers. Just the hum of fluorescent lights. That's when I noticed the second man. He was crouched near the drink coolers, apparently organizing products. Wore a hoodie pulled over his face. But the strange thing was, his hands were shaking. And he kept looking at the manager at the counter. "Excuse me," I said, trying to grab a beer. He turned abruptly. And that's when I saw it. His wrists had red marks. His hands were literally tied with plastic zip ties, but covered by the hoodie sleeves. Our eyes met. He shook his head slightly. An almost imperceptible denial. His lips moved without sound. "Leave. Did you find everything okay?" The manager's voice came from behind me. I turned. He was standing there, still smiling. But now I could see his hand was inside his jacket pocket. The shape of something hard and angular. A gun. "Yes." My voice came out shaky. "Yes, I did." "Great. My stock clerk will help you carry everything to the counter. We offer full service here." The hooded man stood up slowly. His eyes begged me to understand something. "Actually," I said, trying to sound natural, "I forgot my wallet in the car. Be right back." No, the manager moved to block the exit. "I'm sure your friends can bring it in for you. I saw you all arrive. Why don't you call them in? The more, the merrier. I have special promotions for groups." My heart raced. He had watched us arrive. He knew I wasn't alone, and he wanted my friends in here. "They won't want to come in," I tried. "They're in a hurry. I insist." The gun came out of the pocket, pointed at me. The smile never left his face. "Call your friends. Now." The hooded man closed his eyes, as if he knew what was coming. I thought fast. Okay, I'll call them." I walked to the door. The manager followed me, gun hidden but clearly pointed. Through the glass I saw my friends in the car, oblivious. I opened the door. The entrance bell rang, and I screamed with everything I had. "Call police. Now." Then I ran faster than ever in my life. Heard a gunshot, the door glass exploding. My friend screamed, the car started. I jumped through the open back window while my friend was already accelerating. Another shot hit the back of the car. We called the police while fleeing. They arrived in minutes. What we discovered later was worse than we imagined. That convenience store was a front. The manager was part of a gang that kidnapped people, used the store to lure them, then trafficked them. The hooded man was the most recent victim, kidnapped 3 days before on his way home from work. Police found evidence of at least 6 other victims who had been processed through that store. All missing. None found. I almost became the 7th, and almost took my 2 best friends with me. The manager and 2 accomplices were arrested. The hooded man survived and was able to return to his family. But I never bought beer after that. Never properly celebrated my 21st birthday. Because every time I see a convenience store at night, I remember that smile. That damn smile that never left his face even while pointing a gun. And I think, how many other stores like that exist? How many other people walked in and never walked out? Quick pause. Which of these stories affected you more? The impossible phantom, the disguised kidnapping? Comment down below. And if you're feeling this energy, leave that like. Let's go to the last story. Story 3. There's a photo on my wall. It's from a Halloween party in 2021. I'm laughing, holding a drink, with my arm around death. Literally. And this photo makes me cry every time I look at it. It was a typical fraternity party. Excessive, loud, chaotic. The theme was creatures of the night, and everyone had gone all out with costumes. Vampires, werewolves, witches, the expected. But the best costume, without a doubt, was death. A man, or at least we assumed it was a man, was standing in the corner of the room. Black cloak dragging on the floor. Side that looked made of real metal. And the mask, my God, the mask. A perfect skull, realistic down to the last detail. The eye sockets were deep and dark. It felt like you were looking into the void. He didn't move, didn't speak, just stood there. So, like a statue. "Dude, that costume is insane," my friend Jake yelled, running up to him. "Can I take a picture?" No response. But Death tilted his head slightly, an almost imperceptible nod. Jake struck an exaggerated pose, pretending terror. Took the photo. Laughed. "Thanks, man. You're awesome." And so it began. One by one, people went up to Death, taking photos, making silly poses. pretending to be attacked by the scythe, laughing, drinking, using him as a party prop. I went to put my arm around his shoulders, or tried to. He was surprisingly thin under that cloak and smiled for the camera. "Thanks for being our official mascot," I said, patting his shoulder. Through the slits in the mask I thought I saw eyes. Tired, but kind. The party continued for hours. Death remained in the same place. People kept interacting with him, but he never spoke. Never moved more than small occasional nods. Around 3 a.m. the party started to disperse. People stumbled home or to sleep in the fraternity rooms. I crashed on the couch, exhausted. When I woke up at 7 a.m., the house was silent. Beer cans everywhere, fallen decorations, the usual post-party chaos. And Death was gone. But he left something behind. In the exact spot where he had stood all night, there was a folded piece of paper. And on top of it, an ID card. I picked up the ID. Professor Richard Walsh, 68 years old. I opened the paper. The handwriting was shaky but legible. "Dear young people, thank you for the most beautiful night of my final days. I was diagnosed with terminal cancer 3 months ago. I have no family. I have no close friends. I spent my life teaching, but I retired alone. Yesterday my doctor told me I have days, maybe hours. And I realized I didn't want to die alone in a hospital or in my empty house. I wanted to be surrounded by life, by laughter, by youth and energy. So I made this costume, came to your party, and you, unknowingly, gave me the greatest gift. You included me, took photos with me, smiled at me, made me feel part of something. Don't be sad. I had a wonderful night. I will go home now and sleep peacefully, with the sound of your laughter still echoing in my ears. Live well, love much, and remember, death is not always scary. Sometimes she's just looking for one last moment of joy. With gratitude, Richard." We called the police immediately. They went to the address on the ID. Professor Richard Walsh was found at his home, in bed, deceased. Peacefully. He had lain down, still wearing parts of the costume, the cloak folded carefully beside the bed, the mask on the nightstand, the scythe leaning against the wall. Beside him, more photos. Dozens of them. Photos he had discreetly taken during the party from his angle. Young people laughing, dancing, living. And one last note on the bedside table. Best last night anyone could ask for. The investigation confirmed everything. Richard Walsh had been a literature professor at the university for 40 years. Retired 5 years ago. No spouse, no children. His colleagues described him as kind but reserved. He simply disappeared into a quiet life. Until that last night. We organized a memorial for him. Over 100 students showed up, most who never knew him but who had heard the story. We put all the photos from the party in a frame. Our last party with Death. That photo is still on my wall. Me at 19 without a care in the world, with my arm around a man who knew he would die in hours. And every time I look at it, I don't feel fear. I feel gratitude. Because Professor Walsh taught me something no class could. That in the end, all we want is connection. Belonging. One last moment of not being alone. So now, when I see someone alone at a party, I go to them. Take a photo. Make them feel included. Because you never know. That might be their last party. And what a gift it would be to be the reason someone smiles in their final moments. Rest in peace, Professor Walsh. Thank you for choosing us. Thank you for teaching us the most important lesson of all. And those were 3 Halloween stories that go far beyond cheap scares. They're about mystery, survival, and humanity. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell. Every week there's new content like this. And tell me, have you experienced something unexplainable? Something that changed your perspective? Comment below. I love reading these stories. Thanks for watching. And remember, sometimes the real terror isn't in monsters or ghosts. It's in the fragility of life and the mysteries that will never be solved. See you in the next video.